Here now is Ned Ryun, founder and CEO of American Majority. Ned, this plan in Minnesota that the Dems want to take national is actually worse than just automatic registration, you found? Why is that?
No, they've actually included pre-registration of 16 and 17-year-olds. And I think the other thing that's really troubling, Laura, is they're even proposing pop-up polling locations where people in a county can request a pop-up polling location, say in a rest home or on a college campus. And I think the easiest way to communicate is think of drop boxes on steroids. So I have to hand it to the left, Laura. When they build political machines to get political power, and when they get political power, they know how to use it to try and achieve more political power. And we on the right are just wandering about funding think tanks, not really focused on actually building machines to gain political power. And I think this is a real warning, a wake-up call for us, I hope, that we need to realign our thinking, our funding, and our action to actually build a political machine to gain political power, because that's exactly what the left is doing. And I would argue, Laura, right now in April of 2023, we better start thinking about how we're going to be funding our own voter registration programs and absentee ballot chase programs in key states in 2024. And we better start now, or it's going to be too late.
Yeah, voter mobilization, as it's called, is key. I mean, there are a lot of people who agree with the more populist conservative agenda. I mean, you see the poll numbers on everything from trade with China to the war in Ukraine, never-ending funding of that, all the issues that matter, the economy as well. They just need to get to the polls. So Republicans just need to make sure they're registered and get to the polls, and they can do really well. But are they doing that?
No, they're not. And we're not going to win simply on the power of our ideas, Laura. We actually have to build a machine. And I would point to Florida as an example. Right. I don't think a lot of people know that as in 2018, Democrats held over 250,000 voter registration advantage in the state. And yet today, 2023, Republicans now have a 450,000 registration advantage because they were actually determined to overcome that deficit. And when they were down in voter registration in Florida, Republicans took the time to actually fund real absentee ballot chase programs. That's why they won 21 of 24 statewide races since 2010, because they put $10 million into an absentee ballot chase program over 6 weeks. The votes are there, Laura, if we have the force of will and determination to actually fund the right things. We can actually win. In fact, speaking of Minnesota, Laura, last fall, if we'd actually been able to chase down all the ballots that were conservative ballots and out there, we would have won a state auditor's race and the attorney general's race, but we didn't do it. So, in fact, we lost those 2 statewide races in Minnesota. The votes exist if we're doing the right things to get those ballots in.
Yeah, all those big donors out there start funding outside organizations. They're going to be set up to mobilize voters and get them to the polls.
Exactly.
Ned, excellent, as always.